Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Coinsmith. I like to call myself just Coinsmith. Hopefully, you can find me either way. But anyway, here we go, folks. Amazon. Did you hear? Amazon will be using the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network is part of Bitcoin, or it helps to increase the transaction speeds of Bitcoin. So, a major online the major online retailer, Amazon, will be using the Lightning Network. But before we get into what is the Lightning Network, I have to do a little housekeeping as always, and I am not a financial advisor, so please don't use any of the information on this channel for financial purposes or advice. Please use it only for information and educational purposes. Okay, so this just happened today, maybe 24 hours old. I first heard about it online from Ivan on Tech. He is a YouTuber from Stockholm. When I was driving to work this morning, my 2-hour ride out to Long Island to put up radio tower networks and or radio networks on towers at this point in my life. Hopefully, with these investments in cryptocurrency, I, along with you, will be able to retire and have live a comfortable life and do something good. Let's do something good with that money. Okay. What is the Lightning Network and how does it work? Okay. When Bitcoin was first proposed by Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is. We don't know if he exists. In 2008, the very first public comment on the system made by James A. Donald contained the following line: "The way I understand your proposal, it does not seem to scale to the required size." 10 years later, scalability is the biggest problem for Bitcoin as well as other veteran crypto systems. What does scalability mean? Well, throughout its existence, Bitcoin has only been capable of producing around 7 transactions per second. While this was enough at the very beginning, the system has been congested for a few years now, and as a result, transactions take a long time to process, and transaction fees are exorbitant. If Bitcoin is ever to become a fully fledged alternative to currently existing payment systems, it will obviously need to be able to compete with them. As of now, it's not even close. To understand the magnitude of the situation, simply compare Bitcoin's minuscule 7 transactions per second sorry for that technical difficulty there, compared to Visa's average of 24,000 and its peak capacity of around 50,000 transactions per second. Okay, so Visa on this spreadsheet here has 24,000 transactions per second. Bitcoin has 7, and Bitcoin Cash has 61. Over the 10 years, Bitcoin community came up with the various proposals on how to improve Bitcoin's scalability. But an overall resounding consensus is yet to be reached. That's why we currently have several Bitcoin-like networks branching out from the original one. This is, however, one proposed solution currently being tested that might just work. It's called the Lightning Network. So what is the Lightning Network? At some point in history, sending a telegram was quickest and most effective way of long-distance communications. To do so, you had to go to your local post office, fill in a form, and pay for your message based on how many letters it contained. Then the message would be telegraphed to the nearest telegraph office for transmission to the distant end. A postman would then deliver the telegram to the destination. Oh boy, there's the good old days, waiting for a telegram to arrive at your house. Basically, there were a lot of people involved in sending a simple, short message, and you had to pay quite a bit of money for it. That's pretty much the current state for the Bitcoin network. In this analog, the Lightning Network is essentially like having a person you want to talk to on speed dial, and then you just press one, and your friend's phone is already ringing. Okay. To put it simply, the idea behind Bitcoin Lightning Network might have sound something like this. We really don't need to keep a record of every single transaction on the blockchain. Instead, the Lightning Network adds another layer to Bitcoin's blockchain and enables users to create payment channels between any two parties on that extra layer. These channels can exist for as long as required, and because they set up between two people, transactions will be almost instant and the fees will be extremely low or even non existent. Now, how does it work? Enter Danny and John. They may be working together. They might be relatives or a couple. The point is that they need money to send to each other rather quick and minimal fees. Thus, they set up a channel on the Lightning Network. First, they need to create a multi-signatured wallet, which is a wallet that they can both access with their respective private keys. There's that word, private keys. Safeguard them. Then they can both deposit a certain amount of Bitcoin, say 3 Bitcoin each, into that wallet. Okay. From then on, they can perform unlimited transactions between the two of them. Essentially, these transactions are redistributions of funds stored in the shared wallet. For instance, if Danny wants to send 1 Bitcoin to John, she will need to transfer the ownership right of that amount to him. Then the two of them use their private keys to sign for an updated balance sheet. The actual distribution of funds happens when the channel gets closed. The algorithm uses the most recently signed balance sheet to determine who gets what. If Danny and John would decide to close the channel after 1 transaction, Danny will get 2 and John will receive 4. Only after the channel is closing, information about it and an initial final balance is broadcasted to the Bitcoin blockchain. So, the way the Lightning Network works, it enables users to conduct numerous transactions outside the main blockchain, which is that main ledger, right? And then record them as a single one. The most exciting thing here is that once the technology is widely adopted, you won't necessarily even need to set up a dedicated channel to send funds to a certain person. Instead, you will be able to send payments to someone using channels with people that are already connected with the system and will automatically find the shortest route. This is how the Lightning Network might eventually provide an answer to the ever ending debate about buying a cup of coffee for Bitcoin. By the looks of it, doing so through the network of the Lightning channels may just work, as it will be an almost instant purchase that won't incur any fees. So you could see that even Bitcoin is now moving in a direction, another layer to help get over some of these hurdles that it initially had. Most of the coins that are out there now are extremely fast, or they claim to be. Other coins that I like that I really would like to showcase that I believe have speed, security features already built in is Digibyte is one. Theta is another that I like. I'd like to speak about that. Tron, I already said that that's up there in one of my favorite coins. I think that has significant potential. They are right now creating dApps like crazy to use with their cryptocurrency. Some of it, most of it right now, I have to say is geared towards gaming and gambling, simple gambling like coin flipping and uh, say some type of a wheel of fortune or something like that. One is a moonshot, I believe, where you're able to see bet on when this coin is going to moonshot and double and triple and quadruple and so forth. It's interesting. It's received a lot of users over the last few months, and they have their own uh, DEX, which is a digital exchange um, that they also have sub coins and projects under their Tron under the Tron network. Some of them are extremely interesting. One is Turbotron, one is Anti, and BitTorrent, BTT. That I believe has some extreme, growth potential in it right now. Um, but let's get back to the Lightning Network. As you can see, in order to stay in the game and to stay current, as in my other videos that I talked about mining for Bitcoin and the amount of time it takes for a Bitcoin to come into existence, the energy costs that are needed to produce a Bitcoin, Bitcoin, where it's being produced in what countries and who has control over that. There's a lot of things that are emerging now to kind of break off from the original Bitcoin cryptocurrency and evolve into those second, third, fourth generation, which Bitcoin will be second, third, fourth generation when it, as you can see with the Lightning Network. Some believe that the ones that are already second and third generation have so much advantage over Bitcoin because they're not sure where of the original technology how much it can progress forward in order to pick up speed and get away from the calculation and difficulty factors that are needed to bring one into existence. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's not going to be just one, um, cryptocurrency out there. There's going to be hundreds, literally, that are over time. I don't know if there's going to be one dominant cryptocurrency, though I would like to think XRP will be in a dominant position. Um, Maybe someday it will overtake Bitcoin. I have no idea. Just looking at the amount of customers that they can possibly get and the amount of transactions that they can possibly produce each, and the speed that it has, XRP to me, is already light years ahead of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has the name. They're the first guy on the block, and they're in the number one spot. Um, and they have shown to grow phenomenally to $20,000 per Bitcoin. There's some crazy numbers being thrown around out there, folks. I just don't know if they would ever be attainable, for Bitcoin. Um, right now, anything anyone says is, anyone's guess. It's pie in the sky. Numbers that are out there. I like to think, hey, I like to believe it's going to happen. I want them to happen, obviously, because I would be in a very good position. Um, but some of this is going to take time. Some that are out there are going to shoot it right out of the gate and, just zoom and moonshot what they say, call moonshot. Some are going to be acquired over time and be brought into the mainstream for mass adoption. So I hope that a little bit of explanation about the Lightning Network helps everyone. Check out other videos that are out there. Check out my friends that are out there that I always like to push. Digital Asset Investor, Bix Weir, Greg Manarino, Dusty BC, Ben, Bitcoin Ben, all of these guys. I talk about them so much. They put out some really good information. Um, we're in this together. Let's pass along information together, and hopefully we'll be looking one day on the bright side and sitting back and saying, "I'm so glad I got into cryptocurrency." With that being said, thank you all. God bless you all. And God bless the United States. Thank you.